of Philly, where the birds take flight. Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
What's going on, my guy? What's going on?
How we feeling, man? Talk to me. Tell me something good.
I'm feeling good, man. We are officially here. We have begun. We are OTAs. We are activities. We are coaching. We are seeing things. Folks getting dressed, putting on cleats, running in the grass, catching passes, all of that. I'm all here for it, man. It's time.
For sure. I'm definitely excited for it. You guys already know what it is. You guys are tuned into the Bald Eagles podcast. He's Coach Marcus, also known as Marcus Thomas, former Eagles running back. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields the second from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. You guys know how we carry it here. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to both channels. We're live on Pro Fan Talk, and we're also live on Chalk It Up Sports. So make sure you guys stay active, stay locked in. We do not take the engagement. We do not take you guys watching us every week for granted. I know I don't, man. So make sure you guys continue to stay locked in. So, I mean, you know, we're still in that. I still feel like we're in that limbo area of, you know, the NFL offseason. Yes, we know what the schedule is. The draft is behind us, right? Free agency is behind us. Now we're in OTAs. Guys are starting to get on the grass, right? And there's only so much you can take away from what you hear and see from OTAs.
Right.
Only so much you can take away from it, right? Because they're there for, make sure they're there for the 26th and the 27th. Then they got a return for the 29th.
Right.
Then they got June 1st and June 2nd.
Very important dates.
And then they got June 4th.
June
1st and June 2nd are the dates that we're obviously looking at. But in theory, when you look at these OTAs, they're only going to be on grass for what, 6 days?
5-6 days, yeah.
You know, and that's if all of them touch grass. But
yeah,
we all know what we're really looking out for as spectators of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're looking out for them June 1st, June 2nd dates.
Correct. That would be the to me, that is the starting gun for the new season, because that
for me at least we think whenever that goes down, whenever the AJ Brown situation has been completed, for me that will be the starting gun for the new season, because that means everything old is gone, and that means at least for people who you expect to be here, you know what your wide receiver room definitively looks like. You know what you're working with definitively.
Right.
Now, whatever happens between that trade date and week 1 of the NFL season, it all remains to be seen. But regardless, we'll have the chance to know exactly what we're working with at least after June 2nd.
Right. We'll have a clearer picture. And I'm looking at Afrado and what Adam Kaplan said today, and I trust Adam Kaplan's reports and stuff like that, because he's not somebody about the clickbait. I understand and I acknowledge that comment, but that doesn't mean if it doesn't happen, somebody else isn't going to step up and do what needs to be done. So I still think that after all is said and done, he's going to end up in New England. But I'm not 100% in that, and I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So if we do get a curveball, and it does take a little bit longer, he'll probably end up somewhere else. So that just gets extended by a couple of more days. So it is what it is, but it's going to happen. And whatever happens, we're gonna deal with it one way or the other. Because the possibility still exists that he could be an Eagle. Because Howie ain't giving nobody away.
And also, with the Philadelphia Eagles drafting Mekhi Lemon in the first round, and you couple that decision with the free agent additions at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Now we all know those guys are different players than AJ Brown. They approach the position differently, but you've essentially loaded up on 4 additional prospects at wide receiver. 3 of them are vets. 1 you got in the first round, and one of those 3 vets you traded for, then extended him an additional season. So that
was Hollywood.
That was Dontavion Wicks. They traded
Wicks.
Got him from Green Bay. But when you factor all the decisions that are draft pick related, you gave up draft picks to get Dontavion Wicks. You also gave him money. You allocated a high value first round pick for Mekhi Lemon as well. So you've already spent money and draft capital on that position. And I can't sit here and say to myself, the Philadelphia Eagles are not preparing to move on from AJ Brown.
Correct.
They've positioned themselves in such a way where the message, the smoking gun is there.
Yeah.
The fingers on the trigger. So that begs the question: if they can't get the deal done, to Afrado's point and Adam Kaplan, and we're taking Afrado's post here at face value. I don't know exactly what Adam Kaplan said, but let's just roll with this, right? If the Eagles don't get what they want by June 1st or June 2nd, right? Are we to assume that whatever they were asking for is too steep of a price for most teams? Maybe. It's possible. But I do have a hard time believing AJ Brown plays for the Eagles on week 1. I have a hard time believing that at this point. They've done so much to position themselves to move on without him. Now, I'm not saying that. Here's the beautiful thing about this draft pick with Mekhi Lemon. Here's the beautiful thing about it. He actually fits with AJ Brown here or AJ Brown not being here.
Yeah.
He actually fits. This draft pick it's clearly not an AJ Brown replacement because you can't replace that. But it's almost as if Howie Roseman was like, all right, if I do trade AJ, all right, I did get a high-end talent in Mekhi Lemon. All right. But if I don't trade him, Mekhi Lemon still fits. He still fits.
And also, you got to remember, let's say, and I'm just saying this, and I don't even like saying it like this, but worst case scenario, if AJ's still here, you got to get rid of Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, or Darius Cooper. You're not getting rid of Lemon. You're not getting rid of Dontavion Wicks for the reasons that you said. And I would think that they would keep Hollywood Brown. Because I think out of all of those vets, he's probably the best one. He's the most veteran player. And, how old is he? 27?
Yeah, something like that.
27, 28. So I guess my point is he's somebody you would keep on the team. So I think they would have to make a decision between Cooper, Moore, and I guess it would be Brown. Yeah, I guess it would be.
Here's the thing. I'm looking at the past few seasons, for Elijah Moore and Marquise Brown, respectively. Obviously, our guy Darius Cooper hasn't built up the resume those guys have. They're way more proven in this league than he is. He's the younger body with less miles on the tires for sure. But Hollywood Brown's coming off of the better 2025 season, by far. And he was healthier. When you go to the 2024 season now, Hollywood Brown got hurt. Elijah Moore was healthier, had the better 2024 season. So both of these players in the past 2 seasons have had an injury season to knock off their production.
Yeah. Wilson was the other receiver I was trying to think of.
Yeah, I don't think Elijah Moore or Marquise Brown edge each other out in any way. Like, that's a situation where they're battling. And again, we're speaking from the perspective of AJ is here still,
Right.
Because as much as we think he's gone, Harry Roseman doesn't make bad deals.
Correct.
Or he doesn't make a deal that he doesn't feel like he's going to benefit from either today, tomorrow, or the following season. So how is either going to get something he's comfortable with, or AJ Brown's going to be here? Because to put it plain, nothing has happened, in my opinion, between this organization and AJ Brown that we know of that appears to be irreparable.
Correct.
I don't think either side have played themselves out of position, at least since this offseason has started.
Right.
People will say AJ Brown's been winning out for the past couple seasons. The things he's saying in the media, like they can latch on to that, fine. But when you think about how they've conducted themselves in the media, both
in the
parties,
locker room.
Say that again.
In the locker room.
And in the locker room. I mean, I'm not there, right? So I can't speak on it, but I can at the very least on the outside looking in, if this marriage is on the verge of divorce, it doesn't look like either party is bitter, right?
Correct.
Now, let's say after a couple sessions of couples therapy, the couple was able to say, you know what? Let's do it for the kids. Let's come back and see if we can do this for the kids. And if that buys you another season with AJ Brown, so be it.
Is that a bad thing?
It depends who you ask.
Well, I'm saying that specifically from this standpoint. And I think I mentioned this last time we talked. I think the whole AJ Brown situation is totally different if we would have had Sean Mannion instead of Kevin Patullo.
Break that down.
I just think Kevin, in my opinion, and I'm premature saying this, but this is what my expectation is of Sean Mannion. Mm-hmm. Because Sean Mannion is a former quarterback, because Sean Mannion has been in the trenches. I know he was a career backup. He only started 3 games in his career.
Right.
But you learn a lot of holding that clipboard. Ask Doug Peterson.
And he spoke about the fact that he said I knew very early in my career I was going to be coaching. So
right.
So in his mind, he's been preparing while on that sideline.
Right. And I guess my point is, as somebody in that situation, somebody who has been in the exact same shoes as Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts obviously has many more starts than Sean Mannion, but he's been there. They speak the same language. They have the same muscle memory.
Mm-hmm. And also, this was something that didn't get shined enough light on prior to Mannion's press conference. I still don't think people talk about it enough. Mannion, like Jay Hurts, comes from a household of educators.
Yep. Dad was a coach too, right?
Comes from a household of coaches.
Yep.
So they're already speaking that same language as well.
I just think Mannion would have a different mindset. I don't know. I just think it would be totally different. But woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Also, you got to factor in, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, is the offensive line. That is, to me, that is as important, if not more, than anything Sean Mannion can do, because if the offensive line is not doing their job, Sean Mannion's going to look horrible.
Correct.
His offense is not going to work. So that's the first line of defense. With our offensive line has got to be together. They have to stay healthy. And if they don't stay healthy, you better damn well have a good backup. So,
and right now, I'm not totally sold on. I can't say I'm definitively sold on this backup crew. Not quite yet. A lot of them are young, still proving themselves.
You talking about backup offensive linemen?
Yes.
Hell, I'm not even sold on the starters yet. Lane Johnson, first ballot. Would you argue that? But
not at all.
Can we get through a season and you stay on the field? Can we get you 14 games this year? 15 games this year, healthy? Cam Jurgens, what does that back gonna act like in week 6? Landon Dickerson, I don't ever want to see you bring beer to practice ever again. Ever.
Yeah, I ain't
That's
gonna lie,
bad
man.
juju now, as far as I'm concerned.
If I got any concerns about this offense doing what it's supposed to do in 2026, it's more so the offensive line. Like the conversation they've been making it about Jalen Hurts, but the real conversation is that this Eagles offensive line is relatively uncertain.
Correct.
Going into the season and the next 2 to 3 years. Your next 2 to 3 years, there used to be stretches where at maximum, maybe one position was kind of a turnstile a little bit. And that was probably a guard position.
Right guard.
Right. If any position has been right guard.
Right.
Out of all the positions.
That was a question mark until Mekhi Becton. They plugged him in. And he was better than anybody expected. But that was a surprise.
Right. But the point is, this Eagles offensive line has never been something we've thought about in terms of who's going to be out there and who's going to be ready.
Correct.
This is the first time in quite some time where you're without Jeff Stoutland. And I have questions on who's going to be available for any given week of the season. I'm sorry.
It's not the first time because
No, I'm not saying it's the first time, but in quite some time. I'm just saying
they had a lot of questions when we got Cam Jurgens.
But they knew but here's what I'm saying, right? That was a plan, though. Like you saw the plan.
Yeah, but I guess my point is, I'm not disagreeing with you, but the point is that when Cam Jurgens came, even though that was Kelsey's choice, he still hadn't played. And you still following in the footsteps of another Hall of Famer on our offensive line.
But let me ask you this question, and your position is your position. Did you feel more concerned then than you do now with this offensive line?
No,
and that's my point.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Because we're not just talking about replacing the center position, Jason Kelsey moving on, his air, and then on top of that, it wasn't like you rushed his air. I could probably see the Cam Jurgens angle being a point to use if they drafted him the year Kelsey retired. Like they forced him out there.
Right.
Like first season. He didn't have to be that person right away.
And now that's not even an issue. The issue is, can they stay on the field?
Remember, his first year, he was on the bench. His second year, he was a starting right guard. Then his third year, he became the center. So he was able to be grandfather. He was able to be
they developed
into that role.
Whereas you under Jason Kelsey's watch every day.
Exactly. And that's one position we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm uncertain about left guard. I'm uncertain about center. I'm uncertain about right guard. I'm uncertain about right tackle. That's 4 out of the 5.
I'm uncertain from the fact of I know they will block. Whether they will be a good run blocking and pass blocking offensive line, that is not my concern. My concern is, are they going to stay healthy for 17 games? That is my concern. And if they are not, who is the backup?
Yes. Okay, let's take this step further. Because when you look at the backups, like you said, who are they? You got Fred Johnson, who is your most experienced backup. Then when you go down from there, you have Michael Morris, rookie, backup left guard they haven't listed as. Drew Kendall, your backup center. I like Drew Kendall.
Yeah.
I think he could play.
We still got that kid Hinton.
Markel Bell, your backup right tackle. You got Holland Pierce, your backup right guard, who's a house. Like to me, it looks like the Eagles have been trying to recreate that Mekhi Becton effect.
Yeah,
just based off of the profile of the players they drafted, Holland or found via undrafted free agency. Holland Pierce, they got him last offseason. He's like 6'9", 6'8", like built like Maylott. And then you have Markel Bell, big dude.
Big
Michael
dude
Morris. Mike Morris is a big dude, right? When you go beyond them, you got Cameron Williams, who you drafted at tackle. You got Miles Hinton, who you drafted at tackle 2 years ago.
And he's the one I want to see the most, Miles Hinton, because he's a legacy. His pops was great.
And so is Drew Kendall. You
Those
still got
are the ones I want to see because I
Willie
know
Lampkin.
they've been getting schooled since they was little. So now it's time to put up or shut up.
But that's the real conversation that needs to be had. Because if this offensive line is doing what they're doing, this offense is going to be able to do whatever they want.
Right. And here's why I say this is the perfect time. Because everybody's at ground zero. Because you have a new offense, because you have a new coach, because you don't have the expectations of Jeff Stoutland. Cooper don't know anybody. He knows them, but he don't know them.
Mm-hmm.
Cooper is there because of Mannion. They worked together before. Cooper was one of Mannion's coaches when he was a player. So there's that familiarity. But as far as everybody on the Eagles, everybody is they in the starting blocks again. Now, of course, you got Mailata, Johnson. They know who the starters are, but everybody's learning the same offense from ground zero. So there's really the only advantage, I guess you could say, is experience.
Right.
So now is the perfect opportunity for some of these young cats to get in there and prove what they can do. Then you got to look at the coaches like, are y'all going to make the right decisions? Are we going to have the right people starting that should be starting? I don't want to have to go through the same thing like we went through last year. It's like, oof, he ain't getting it done. Jurgens ain't getting it done. Who's his backup? Brett Toth is his backup. Well, put his ass in.
Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to mix in some of these backups with these starters to see how it looks.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to be
paying in preseason.
And I'm going to be paying close attention to how they mix in right guard with those starters. Because out of all those guys, Talestine is the one they're least sold on. Because he has the least investment out of all of them.
Right.
And he's in a contract year. So Steen is going to be motivated this year. Highly motivated.
Absolutely.
He has a chance to make some good money away from the Eagles because I don't think the Eagles resign him.
Trying to get that back, man.
They're not going to resign Tyler Steen. They've drafted too many offensive linemen to, that they're developing. Tyler Steen this is his last season in Philadelphia with the Philadelphia Eagles. So Tyler Steen is playing, and I think he sees it as well. Tyler Steen is playing for a contract elsewhere, if you ask me.
Yes.
They've drafted too many offensive linemen in these past couple seasons for you to believe that Tyler Steen is going to get any kind of long-term money.
He's trying to get his last payday.
Exactly.
He's trying to get his last payday. Rightfully so.
Well, his first big one. Because teams need offensive linemen. And Tyler Steen can get himself a nice 3-year deal with some good guarantees the first couple years. Kind of like Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton signed that 3-year deal with the Chargers. He has some really good guarantees. Can't blame him for taking the money.
Get your paper when you can get it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I mean, look, Mekhi Becton battled injuries this year, but the way he balled out in 2024. Listen, man, you cash in. You go do that. I'm not mad at Mekhi Becton for doing that. And Tyler Steen,
not at all.
I'm not gonna be mad at him when it's time for him to get his money either, because a team's going to pay him. A team is going to pay Tyler Steen. He's been coached among some of the best. He's been in so many high leverage games. He's going to get paid maybe some mid-tier right guard money to some high-end rotational guard money for sure.
Right. And this is a chance. He got a ring already. Now's your chance to get your payday. You got one shot at it, especially at your position. So, but ultimately, looking at everything in the macro, man, the offensive line has to be good. But again, like I said before, that's really a low bar the way they performed last year. Now, most of that was because of their health. So that is always the X factor. But we got to take that into consideration because Lane Johnson played how many games last year?
Like 9.
Yeah, it's the last couple of years, we always lose them. And on every broadcast, they are very quick to remind us of that stat of how bad we play when we have him and when we don't have him. Yeah,
this has been his most injury-riddled season since the 2021 season, where he played 13 games. Obviously, his 2019 to 2021 seasons were his most injury-riddled. 2020 and 2019, he only played 12 games. 2020, he played 7 games. In 2021, he played 13 games. I think that's what he had to get the tightrope surgery or something like that.
Yeah.
But from that point on, 2022, 2023, 2024, that surgery brought him some spectacular seasons. Where coming off of those seasons, he was 3-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro. one-time first-team All-Pro, two-time second-team All-Pro. Even when he only played 13 games in 2021, still made second-team All-Pro. So, I mean, outside of the 2025 season, from 2021 to 2024, he's had 4 consecutive All-Pro seasons. He's been remarkable.
Right.
He's been remarkable. But playing 10 games in 2025 with where this team is trying to go, it's not good enough. It's not good enough.
We'll see. If they can stay on the field, man, I think we are golden. I think the offense will be just fine. We're gonna see some new wrinkles.
Mm-hmm.
But again, everything goes with the offensive line. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So I'm other than Cam Jurgens, Lane Johnson, man, you got to stay on the field, bro. And it's not like he hasn't been trying to.
Right.
You know, it's just that's one of those things that it's part of the game. That's how the sausage is made. You can't do nothing about it. You just got to stay healthy. And most of that, when you're talking about health, man, it's the luck of the draw. These guys ain't out there doing stupid crap.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, they're not going skiing on the off week or nothing goofy like that. So you just luck of the draw. And hopefully we can stay healthy longer than everybody else can. If we can do that, if our health holds up, and if the health holds up towards the end of the season, we're gonna surprise a lot of people. We're gonna surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really
Oh,
important.
go ahead and rock. I got to run to the door real quick.
No, for sure. I think another thing, you guys, is in order for this thing to really work, yes, we talked offensive line, right? Saquon Barkley has to perform at a high level. I expect that, especially if I expect the offensive line to do what they're going to do. But now I'm looking at this new version of the Eagles that we may see. We talked briefly about if A.J. Brown is going to be moved, and a lot of us believe that he will, and a lot of the tea leaves say that he will be moved at June 1st or 2nd, somewhere around that time. Now we have to start looking at the new look wide receiver core. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, they're leading that now. Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith have become your leaders on that offense from a production standpoint. And I think it's going to be so interesting to see that arc, because Devontae has always had number 1 written all over him. He's just been a good soldier playing his number 2 role or 1B role, however you want to look at it. But Devontae has been a perennial 1,000-yard receiver every single season. His numbers average out to over 1,000 yards a season in production. He's averaging just over 6 touchdowns a season. Those numbers could be better, but this is a run-first offense nonetheless, has been for at least the time Devontae's been here. But for him to be averaging over 1,000 yards a season, averaging 6 touchdowns a season, given his circumstances, I mean, I think that's fantastic. And I really think Devontae is going to have a career year in production all the way around. I think he's a significantly more polished receiver than he was in year 1. I feel like Devontae is just as fast, just as quick. He's so shifty, so smooth. His route running, it looks boring because he makes everything look the same. But it's the subtle movements that Devontae is able to make that create space for himself. And he's such a rangy dude, long arms. He's wiry, but we talked about health, right, Coach? Like Devontae Smith has been a guy who has rarely missed games. And
smallest dude on the squad.
They talked about him potentially not lasting in this league.
Smallest dude on the squad.
Let's really do some quick math for a second, if I may. He got drafted in 2021. That was the first year the NFL introduced 17 games, right?
Yep.
So he's the beginning of the 17 game era. That's where his career started. 17 times 5 years in the league. That's 85 total possible games that he could have played. He's played in 80 and started in 78 of them. So yeah. Let's just focus on the starts. 78 divided by 85. Devontae Smith is on the football field or available. He's active 92% of the time or 91.7% of the time, however you want to do the math on that. But for a guy who claimed couldn't hold up in his league. This guy has been on the field and available in 92% of his football
Most
games.
of the time.
And I think for as physical as a sport as football is, and as all the ticky-tack injuries we see some of these guys at the skill position deal with, I think DeVonta Smith has more than showed why he was worth a top 12 draft pick by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. He's been hearing that his whole life. Because let's remember, he was even smaller in high school. Comparatively, he was even smaller at Alabama. Playing in the SEC, which they told him he couldn't do because he wasn't big enough. And to your point, man, DeVonta Smith is that kind of guy. He is not real twitchy. He's not going to hit you with the quick moves and like break your ankles or nothing like this. He's the guy that as soon as that defensive back starts to backpedal and he finally gets his hips around, DeVonta Smith is already 5 yards past him. Nowhere near as fast, but very similar to how Randy Moss used to do it.
It's
Randy
the
Moss used to run
strides.
that
It's the strides.
Absolutely. It's that turnover. If anybody knows anything about your gates and your turnover, how quickly that right foot can get up and back down, or that left foot can get up and back down when you are running full speed. That gait is ridiculous. And he's got a good sense of he can high point balls. He's got hops that people really don't talk about a lot.
It's gotten better every year.
Balls in traffic.
Every single year, I feel like he's upped the ante on his 50-50 ball catchability.
Yes.
Like these past couple seasons in particular, I mean, we saw a flash of it his rookie year when he caught that 50-50 ball on Patrick Surtain against Denver.
Yeah.
It was his birthday game. He had 2 touchdowns that day. But these past couple seasons, shoot, you can even say in 2022 when he had the crazy game against Washington where he had like a bunch of 50-50 balls go up and he went up and got them. But each and every single season, he's giving you a handful of highlight moments of him tracking that ball, going up and getting it, putting his body in positions that the defense is afraid to put their body in. I think he's the best sideline catcher on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
That's my humble opinion. I don't think there's anybody as acrobatic on this roster as DeVonta Smith. I mean, his ability to contort his body on the sideline. I don't think there's any receiver on this roster that's as much of a contortionist as DeVonta Smith.
I know people are not going to make this comparison because most of y'all probably did not see him play. But DeVonta Smith, whether you want to believe it or not, is very similar to Chris Collinsworth. When Chris Collinsworth was with the Bengals, now DeVonta Smith was a hell of a lot faster than Chris Collinsworth ever was. But Chris Collinsworth's claim to fame was back then in the 70s and early 80s, he wasn't afraid to go across the middle, and he had a talent where he would go up and go get balls, and he would go limp and take the punishment. He was like, go up, make the catch, and he was like a rag doll. So then you add his speed. Collinsworth was a little bit taller. I think Collinsworth was like 6'3". But again, DeVonta, we don't talk about his wingspan enough.
We don't.
His leaping ability and his overall speed with that gait, man, surprises a lot of people. And now that I still think Dontavian Wicks is going to be better than anybody expected. And we'll see how good Mekhi Lemon is. And the thing with rookies is we don't know how they're going to use them. You know, are they going to, you know, I guess DeVonta Smith has got the mark. He's the bar when it comes to rookies because he caught 700 yards his rookie season. Wasn't that the best as a rookie for
his rookie year? His rookie year, DeVonta went 17 games played, 104 targets, 64 catches, 916 receiving yards, averaged 14.3 yards per reception and 5 touchdowns. Where are we here? He had 45 receptions that accounted for a first down conversion. So 45 out of DeVonta's 64 catches were for first downs. He's a chain mover.
Yes.
And he showed his reliability heavily in year one. that wasn't a great year for Jalen Hurts in terms of his overall accuracy. Obviously, Jalen's accuracy has grown leaps and bounds from his rookie year. Or I'm sorry, his first year starting. But all things considered, for that to be a run-heavy year, and for Devontae to lead the team in receiving yards and broke the record for most receiving yards for an Eagles rookie, got to give credit where credit is due for sure.
He's going to be, again, he's the mark. Can Mekhi Lemon get close to it?
I think Mekhi Lemon can put those numbers up. I really do.
Well, here's the thing, though. It will be amazing if he does. And I'm saying that not that I would be surprised, but all of this is going to depend on what Sean Mannion is going to do with Eli Stowers. Are we going to play a lot of double Ted sets with Stowers and Dallas Goedert in there? Are they going to play around with that? So it all depends on all of these formations and what we do with Stowers, because Stowers is a draft pick. Stowers is a lot faster than Dallas Goedert. How are we gonna take advantage of that? Because we got Stowers, and Stowers is a absolute mismatch for any linebacker.
I think overall, your skill position group has gotten younger and more athletic.
Yes,
easily. I don't think you can doubt that. Even if you lose AJ Brown, I feel like your group has gotten more athletic and just overall faster than before. This arguably can be your most dynamic pass catching group.
Yes,
just
Dallas
because
Goedert still knows how to get open, but Dallas Goedert ain't running by nobody. You're gonna have to
just because of the shit. That's why I never understood who they thought they were convincing with lining Dallas Goedert up on the boundary.
Thank you.
I used to hate that package, because I'm like, who are you fooling? And putting Dallas Goedert at the top of the formation.
He's not going to run by anybody. He's damn sure the blocking ability is going to be 50-50, if you ask me. Sometimes he gets the blocking, even when he does get his hands on people. It really depends on what the running back does or whoever the ball carrier is, because none of those tight ends was blowing anybody off the line of scrimmage. So it really depends on what Sean Mannion is going to do, because that's a mismatch. And I think that's one thing that we just didn't take advantage of last year like we should have. We won some, but I thought we could have won more. And that's when I would say a lot of times last year, my biggest indictment of Kevin Patullo was we were always losing the chess match.
Correct.
Always.
And it was visible.
Yes.
It was visible.
So I don't want to be in a situation where we all know what we're running. When they get out and get into a certain set, everybody throws their hands up because they know we would be out to run. We can't do that no more.
Yeah.
So we can't be a bipolar offense. We gotta, as my man Carlos say, prevent offense. We can't do that no more. So we got it. But I think Mannion's gonna be good. I think Mannion's gonna be fine.
Yeah, he's in a good situation, right? I mean, people talk about, the personnel needing to be maximized. I mean, he's in a situation where whatever he's trying to accomplish, it can be maximized.
Yeah.
It can be maximized. Tiffany says, "Hey Tone, I thought we agreed on draft day for me to get this." I don't know what you're talking about, Tiff. I don't know what you're talking about, Tiff. Oh man, shout out to Tiff, yo. Oh my god, that was funny.
But yeah, we there's a lot we want to see, and we're not going to see it in OTAs. We're not going to see it. I already know the next couple days, everybody going to be going overboard on route running and B-roll clips of Mekhi Lemon running drills to warm-ups, and somebody snapping a clip, running in slow motion, thinking that Mekhi Lemon is the best thing since D-Jax was here.
I think people listen.
Slow your roll, man. Slow your roll.
I'm excited.
Warming up.
I'm really excited about this season. I think the unknown excites me. I overall trust this personnel grouping, and I think people are thinking so lowly of Jalen Hurts right now.
I agree.
I almost prefer it at this point. I almost prefer it because people expect nothing out of him, and I just know Jalen Hurts is going to. I know Jalen Hurts is going to maximize his opportunity. He's a very I don't know if the word is responsive or reactive, but
Right.
he's a data center. He stores a lot. Matter of fact, perfect example. You know how Black Panther's suit, right? It stores kinetic energy. The more you hit
Kinetic
him,
energy and releases. Yeah.
the more you hit him, the stronger he punches back at you.
Better yet, he's more like Bishop. He's more like Bishop because he can take it and take it and take it. But when it comes back to you, it's coming back with a little pepper.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
But definitely good analogy, man. I think Jalen is ready. Again, man, what are the odds that we would have this cycle of coordinators and we have the one quarterback that can handle it?
Yeah. And by the way, if y'all don't know who Bishop is, that's an X-Men reference, by the way. If y'all don't know who Bishop is, that's an X-Men reference, y'all. Just so clear enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think because I'm thinking to myself now, I think about that combo of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. If you can find a way to replicate something like that, because Jameson Williams, I mean, he's taller than Mekhi Lemon.
Yeah.
Taller, but Mekhi Lemon and Smitty, physique-wise, is similar to the Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams combination. And look, let's put it this way: like this NFL now is a lot of these guys who are slight. They get the benefit of the doubt too.
Yeah.
These guys can win now in this league.
Absolutely. When there was definitely a stigma attached with it, but I mean, dude, I played with Mark McMillan, 5'8", 170-pound DB.
Yeah, and I just think both receivers, Smitty and Lemon, they have a mentality. Smitty is like that quiet dog. You don't
really talk a lot.
Yeah, don't think he ain't processing you right now. Like it's
Facts.
It's like that guard dog that he counting every pace.
Absolutely.
He waiting for you to fuck up. Whereas though, you got Mekhi Lemon who's like that, kind of like that humble beast as well. I'm excited about it, but like you said, like bringing it full circle. As much as we expect AJ Brown to be traded, it's entirely possible that maybe could somebody lowball the Eagles? Is this handshake deal as certain as people make it with the Patriots? I don't know.
I think it's going to all play out the way everybody expected. I think it's going to end up with the Patriots. And then you're going to have a lot of people talking about, well, it's just like I said 6 months ago, or, everybody going to be trying to play the role like, yeah, I said this 3 months ago. Remember when I said this first? So is it possible? I know everybody was crashing out when they saw the Chargers playing in Philly. So anything can happen. Anything can happen. Just get it done so it can be an afterthought and we can move forward with it. So
let me ask you a question real quick before we get out of here.
Sure.
What was your instant reaction to the Jackson Dart Trump announcement? Whatever he did for Trump. I think he brought him out at whatever rally or event. I can't remember exactly what it was.
If anybody now, after everything we've seen the last 4 years, if anybody does that and don't think there will be pushback from black and brown players on their team, then they're either A, not paying attention, or B, and even worse, don't want to. So yes, you're trying to clean it up on the back end, but now, in my opinion, and I don't know the locker room, I don't know who in there, but he gonna always get the side eye one way or the other. Look at what happened with us with what's his name? Cooper? Riley Cooper.
Mhm.
He gonna always get the side eye, regardless of if he apologizes and all of that type of stuff, because he stood on it. He stood on it. He did exactly what he wanted to do. It wasn't a mistake. He wasn't trying to hide it. None of that. And what do they always say? When somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he's going to always get the side eye. And that comes into play when you're trying to build the relationships. Unspoken communication, just being tight with your squad. That can really affect stuff like that. Because now,
I mean, even Abdul Carter said something about it. And what's my man name? What's the dude name? Former quarterback for the Bengals, also former quarterback for Giants, MVP.
Carson?
No.
You said quarterback for the Bengals?
He's a former quarterback for the Bengals. He was drafted by the Bengals, and I think he
Boomer?
Boomer Esiason jumped off the tightrope and tried to crucify Abdul Carter for speaking out against or having an opinion about Jackson Dart going on his Trump rally.
But and
here's the thing, right? People don't even realize that, and is it like you say, either you don't care or you don't want to care. But people don't realize sometimes they be screaming from the mountaintops who they are without even realizing it. Because instead of addressing specifically what Abdul Carter, instead of just addressing that you disagree with Abdul Carter's approach, you then proceeded to make it about him personally.
Right.
Saying he's not a man. He was late for meetings. He missed that. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. Talking about him as a man.
That ain't got nothing to do with the issue.
That ain't got nothing to do with what's going on right here, right?
Yep.
So it speaks volumes, but also people in the same breath say Jackson Dart shouldn't be crucified for his political beliefs or affiliations.
Well, here's what I say. He shouldn't be.
Guess what?
He shouldn't be crucified.
He shouldn't be.
But you have the right to say exactly what you want to say. You also have the right to deal with the consequences. And there's going to be some people that you have to deal with on a daily basis that don't agree with your take for obvious reasons. And it's not like I don't agree with your take. Whenever you bring that subject up, you're talking about situations where family members have been affected.
Mm-hmm.
In different ways, because now it really becomes the black-white issue and class and economic status, things of that nature. And that's one of those things where people like Jackson Dart, with his history and all of that type of stuff, it didn't look like he was missing any meals when he was in college and in high school.
That's why I be trying to tell people.
So it's different.
Listen, what I tell you a while back, right? What I tell you what, back? Stop crowning these dudes just because they could do a couple dances and they got a little swag.
Right.
Stop stamping these dudes. Stop putting the battery in the back. Stop putting batteries in the back of these guys, making them feel like they down.
Right.
When in reality, they putting your culture on like a costume. There are people who put this thing called blackness on like it's a costume. And then what happens is when they go home, they get to be normal again. And they ain't gotta really carry the weight that comes with being of this culture. They get to do all the dances. They get to sing all the songs, go to all the concerts, wear the clothes, adopt the vernacular, adopt the ebonics.
Yeah.
But then when it's all said and done, they get to go home and put on their Sperry's and their polos and their chinos again. So all I'm trying to say to people is Jackson Dart shouldn't be crucified for his political beliefs. But we're in a different time now where sometimes when you associate yourself with certain people, it sends a certain message to other people.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, since people don't want Jackson Dart to be crucified for his political beliefs or affiliations, guess what? Are y'all the same people who try to crucify Colin Kaepernick?
Absolutely.
Because last time I checked, he didn't take a knee during the game. He didn't stop the game from being had. He didn't protest the games from being played. When the national anthem was sung, he took a knee to send a message that he is voicing his concerns with what's going on in this country as it pertains to police brutality. That's a human rights issue, but they made it political.
You know what the thing was? You know what the thing always was with Kaepernick? Kaepernick did was he talked with the military man, a white one, and that was his suggestion. People always throw that out with the bathwater. He talked to somebody before he did that, and the only reason he kneeled was because it was the suggestion of someone from the military.
He did his research.
Correct.
He did his research. So,
correct.
But nonetheless, he was still treated the way he was treated and ostracized in his league, right? So there is a such thing called the complexion for the protection.
Listen, man, all Jackson Dart has the right to say what he wants to say.
Yes, he does.
But also, if they got a right to treat him accordingly.
Absolutely. And look, you played this game. You've been in these locker rooms. Locker rooms are already sectioned off anyway, right? You got it's cliquey. Guys got their group of guys.
Absolutely.
It's so many guys on a team. It's everybody not gonna be cool.
It ain't nothing but a rich high school, bro.
Right. It's too many guys on the roster for everybody to be brothers in arms. You know what I'm saying? So, like, now when they're on the field, they're gonna ride, but guys hang who they hang with. And with Jackson Dart doing what he did, it's not illegal. It's within his right. But whether he likes it or not, whether whoever likes Jackson Dart or not, they got to accept this fact that he's going to have to deal with that in that locker room in some kind of shit, way, or form. Now, will it affect the product on game day? Probably not. But
absolutely not.
But in terms of the interpersonal relationships, which in my opinion go a long way when you're competing for a championship,
yeah, it'll show up in other ways.
It'll show up in very small, minute ways.
It'll definitely show up in other ways, and I'm like, again, this is one of them things where white folks don't know what they don't know. They just don't. You don't. Why? Because somebody will ask, why does that upset you so much? And it's like, well, you don't know what's on the other side of their family. You don't know how grandma was treated. There's still some stories that, I don't want to get too deep into them weeds, but there's still some things that people don't understand. There's still some concepts that white folks don't understand. A lot of white folks still don't understand 1920 Tulsa. A lot of white folks still don't understand Emmett Till. And a lot of the guys that you play with still have living relatives that lived through that. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's they getting rid of books in schools. You're trying to erase history, and you got people that you play with, that you call friend, whose immediate family members may have lived through some of that stuff. So you got to take that stuff into consideration. Look back, remember back when all of the Kaepernick stuff was going on. Remember when Drew Brees got into it?
Yeah.
Him and one of his teammates got into it, and the teammate had to tell him, like, what makes you think my folks didn't go through this? Because he never looked at it. He didn't know what he didn't know. So he had to do a little backpedaling too. So Jackson Dart, you're gonna get what you get. And you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. Because you do have people like Boomer Esiason that feel in a certain way that can't nobody say nothing. It's like, man, shut up. You ain't in the locker room no more.
And also, let's call it what it is. There's no better organization to do what he did with than the New York Giants. the New York Giants have not drafted, developed, and paid a black franchise quarterback not once in their organization's history. That's their history. That's the fact.
Right.
That's not my opinion. The New York Giants, have they had black backups here and there, black placeholder quarterbacks? Yeah, you saw Geno Smith on the roster. You saw Russell Wilson on the roster before. I think you even saw Tyrod Taylor at one point. I don't know. But as far as like having a franchise quarterback, the New York Giants, I think they're one of the only organizations that have yet to have a black franchise quarterback, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, and I mean, heck, we can go through other stuff. I mean, they're the ones that that gave a kicker a new contract when they knew he was beating his wife.
You know what I'm saying? And
That's
I think one of their high-ranking executives is mentioned well over God knows how many times in the files.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So look, here's the thing, right? Look, I could care less about this deep down in my core, but because we're in the world of sports and I noticed it, I have an opinion on it. And I always just, the older I get, the more aware I become. And unfortunately, with the awareness comes frustration and anger. And I just think the same. It frustrates me when I feel like people don't hear themselves with it when they talk. But then I got to remind myself, no, they hear themselves. They just don't care. So
correct.
People want Jackson Dart to be able to express himself politically without any issues. Yes, I would love that for him. Honestly, I would love that for him. I also would have loved that for Colin Kaepernick. I would have loved that for Jalen Hurts.
Right? Absolutely.
I would have loved it for Saquon Barkley, even though he and let's not let it get the twisted either. He went and played golf with Trump. I still ain't jacking that. So and you know, Jalen Hurts, he decided not to go to the White House. They tried to kill him for that. Absolutely. So we're in a climate now where whatever side you so-called choose or stand on, people are trying to chop you down at the knees for it. Yeah. But unfortunately, we're just in a time now where, unfortunately, conservatism or being a Republican is synonymous with being a racist. And I'm not saying that those are equivalent. I don't believe that's equivalent, personally. I think
you're also under the umbrella of the craziness that is the internet and social media.
Yeah. So it's either or mentality. It's mob mentality. It's tribalism at its finest. And I mean that's sports culture, being tribal.
But when it bleeds into all of this other stuff, that's when it gets dangerous. Exactly. And we don't live in it's funny because the memories now, you see less and less memories in black and white. We see less and less of MLK and Roosevelt and Malcolm X, and we see less and less of that. Now history is in full color and 4K. I went to school in the 90s. I went to college at Eastern Kentucky from 88 to 93. Eastern Kentucky. I've seen people's houses where when you see the mailbox, you look down the driveway and you can't see the house because it's that far in the woods. So let's just rest assured that there's some places in Kentucky that probably didn't like my complexion. So I've seen all of that when you walk in the gas station and you get the dirty looks. I've seen all of that where the white girls on campus, when their family found out they was messing with a black dude, got disowned. I've seen that. I've seen a literal shotgun wedding. You gonna screw my daughter? I'm showing up with a shotgun and you are going to marry her. Actually happened to one of my teammates. So that stuff is not olden times. That was not that long ago. And you still had a byproduct of what we have. And you still got a bunch of people that are oblivious to the suffering and the pain and the struggle that others have to deal with. And that's the problem. They done blurred the lines like everything becomes clickbait. So a lot of people got to keep that. You don't know what you don't know. So you don't know. Jackson Dart don't know everybody in that locker room. He might know names, but he don't know what's going on in somebody's house. He don't know if Abdul Carter or anybody else, he don't know if their great uncle was a Tuskegee Airman, or, you know, if he had a great uncle or a great aunt that lived through Tulsa or anything like that. And that stuff matters.
Yeah, that's
You're
true.
You're gonna learn today.
That's true. I just think it's one. Here's my final word on it. Jackson Dart hasn't shown anything in this league for us to believe he's anything more than Gardner Minshew with swag.
Facts.
Let's call it what it is. I understand Jackson Dart gives the Giants organization some kind of hope, but the reality is Jackson Dart hasn't done anything near enough in his league to warrant any kind of benefit of the doubt.
Yo, let's see if they bring this up on what's the Hard Knocks.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if they bring that up on Hard Knocks. Hey,
Um,
William Johnson, thank you for the $20 super chat, brother.
Yeah, thank you, William. We appreciate you. It's like Jackson Dart, he's not a special quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. Like, we've seen players like Jackson Dart in this league. He just a white boy with swag. That's it.
Yeah.
Cam Scatterboo, fun player to watch. Runs hard. Just another white boy with swag. Not a special player. Like, so, the Giants are in good hands at running back and quarterback. They're in good hands. I'll say that much.
Well, at the end of the day, they still got to step on the field and play. So,
and they still got to step on the field and play.
That's what it all comes down to, brother.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
So,
that is true. All right, I think that's all.
It's playing, bro.
Yeah, that's all I have. That's all I have. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channels. Make sure you guys hold your culture near and dear to your heart. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you don't get to take it off like it's a costume. You got to rock it. You got to wear it. You got to own it every single day. So make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to try to the game. He's Marcus Thomas. I'm your guy, Tone the II. This has been the Bald Eagles Podcast, and we're out of here, y'all. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite, from the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing